Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Backlash pay-per-view highlights and results. Well, on the pre-show, we had one title match, which is your U.S. title, Andrade versus Apollo Crews. We are from the Performance Center with Tom Phillips, Byron Saxon, and Samoa Joe at ringside. First part of the kickoff match is Andrade with Zelina Vega and Angel Garza, which the NXT developmental trainees around the crowd as fans for the show. Next comes the U.S. champion, Apollo Crews, as Mike Rome does ring introductions. Music interrupts before we get going, and out comes Kevin Owens. He joins the commentary team. The bell rings, and they go at it in the ring. They collide with shoulders and run the ropes. Again, Andrade avoids a drop kick as Owens cheers Apollo's on. They tangle, and Andrade takes control with a submission over the ropes from the apron. Referee counts while they're on the floor now. Crews backdrops Andrade on the steel ramp. Crews returns to the ring, and Andrade crawls after him. Andrade resets the count. Crews hits a moonsault from the apron and lands on his feet. Crews brings him back in the ring and hits a long suplex for a 2 count. Garza has words with the referee from ringside. Andrade ends up sending Crews face first into a middle turnbuckle. Andrade with a running double knees in the corner for a 2 count. Andrade goes to the top as Vega cheers him on. Crews cuts Andrade off. Andrade fights back, but Crews unloads while Andrade is still on the top turnbuckle. Crews climbs up for a hurricanrana, but Andrade drops him on top turnbuckle. Andrade beats on Crews and turns him upside down in the tree of woe. Andrade goes for the big stop, but misses. Crews gets free and catches Andrade as he charges, launching him over his head into the turnbuckles. Crews keeps control with clotheslines, then rams him back in the corner. Crews with more shoulder thrusts in the corner. Crews puts Andrade across the ring and slashes him. Crews with a big spine buster for a close 2 count in the middle of the ring. Andrade counters an Olympic slam, but Crews drop kicks him. Crews keeps an eye on Garza, and Andrade takes advantage with a forearm. Crews tries to suplex Andrade to the floor, but he hangs on, and they are both on their apron now. Trading shots, Andrade ends up hitting a big DDT from the apron for a close 2 count. Andrade and Vega can't believe it. Crews blocks a hammerlock DDT. Crews kicks Andrade while he's up top now. Crews presses Andrade high and slams him. Crews with a standing moonsault and another for a pin attempt, but Garza gets on the apron for the referee distraction. Owens gets up and pulls him to the floor. Owens follows up with a big stunner to Garza as Crews looks on. Crews goes back to Andrade and nails a sit-down powerbomb for the pin and the win to retain. After the match, Vega is furious with what just happened in and out of the ring. Crews stands tall as we go to replays. Crews joins Owens on the ramp and they pose together. Owens heads to the back as Vega and her team argues. Crews raises the title on the ramp. Back from a break, Scott Sanford sends out to a video package on Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. We also get words from the Celtic Warrior in a pre-recorded promo. Stanford and Rosenberg talk about triple threat for the WWE women's titles. We'll get a video package on tonight's title match. We go back to Stanford and Rosenberg for more Backlash discussion. Rosenberg believes Orton will defeat Edge, and that's it for the Backlash kickoff. Backlash pay-per-view. Slight tape delay. Of course, I know one match was taped last week from Orlando, Florida. Winter Park from the WWE Performance Center. Of course, Michael Cole's out is at ringside with Corey Graves. Triple threat match for the women's tag titles to start off the show. Iconics versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. We got a ring for tonight's opener. Out first comes Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Iconics are out next. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. We go back to Charlie Caruso with the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Sasha and Bayley. The bell rings across. Bayley and Kay start things off. Cross ends up getting double teamed and dropped in the middle of the ring. Banks comes in for some chaos in the ring. The three teams have a standoff in the middle of the ring. Banks, Royce, and Bliss tie up now. Royce with a roll up on Banks for a 2 count. Never seen a women's Texas Tornado tag for a triple threat until this event. And Royce with a roll up on Banks for a 2 count. But Bliss broke up the pin. They continued to trade offense before stopping to knock the others off the apron. Another standoff in the middle of the ring. Cross takes Banks to a corner while Royce and Bliss are in another. Cross and Bliss get the upper hand and then comes Cross off of a tag. Royce levels Cross with a kick to the face for a 2 count. Bailey comes in off of a tag, but the referee didn't see it. He makes him redo it. Bailey works over Royce and Cross now. Bailey with a shoulder thrust in the corner. Kay comes in and levels Cross with a big boot for a 2 count. Bailey breaks it up. Kay stomps across and shows frustration. Kay and Bailey double team Cross until Kay turns on her to booze. Kay swings at Bliss on the apron but misses. Banks runs interference as Bailey rolls Kay up for a 2 count after Royce failed to interfere. Bliss gets dropped on the floor. Banks runs into a double team. Kay, but Cross breaks up the pin. More back and forth until all three go down. Bliss tags in and clotheslines over Bailey and Royce, who also tagged in. Bliss unloads on both of them. Bliss drops Bailey and drops knees on Royce, then takes Bailey down with the right hands after mounting her. Banks runs in, but Bliss hits the Thesz press and nails some rights. As the same to Royce. Bliss knocks Banks off the apron and then hits the crossbody to Bailey and Royce at the same time. Bliss kicks to Bailey in the corner. Banks tags in and unloads on Bliss in the corner. The chaos continues and they all go down on the floor. As the fans chant, "This is awesome," Royce brings Banks back in. Kay runs in and stops Bailey. Then they double team her to send her back out to the floor. Iconics continue to double team Banks, but Cross and Bliss make the save. Bliss and Cross take control with a double team. Bliss ends up hitting Twisted Bliss on Royce in the middle of the ring. Bliss holds it for the pin, but Banks runs in and steals the win, covering to retain. Sasha Banks and Bailey still champions. After the match, Banks and Bailey take their titles to ringside to celebrate as the music hits. They lean up against the announce table and raise their titles. If you go to replays, Banks and Bailey continue to taunt the other teams on the way to the back. We see WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman arriving in his car from earlier in the day. Windshield has been fixed. After all, it's been like a week. Strowman heads into the building. Coleslaw leads us to a video package for Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. The same one they showed on the pre-show. And the match is up next. We go back to the ring. Out comes Jeff Hardy as Greg Hamilton does the ring introductions. Sheamus was out next. The bell rings and Hardy rallies the crowd. You got pissed on. Champ brings him from the crowd. Sheamus takes Hardy down and manhandles him. Some while Hardy struggles. They get up and Sheamus backs Hardy in the corner. Hardy with his headlock, keeping Sheamus down now. Sheamus takes it to the corner and they break, but Sheamus nails a cheap shot. Sheamus was trash talking while keeping Hardy down in the corner. Sheamus keeps control, but Hardy kicks him and drop kicks the knee out. Hardy stomps away in the corner while Sheamus is down. Hardy launches himself low at Sheamus in the corner. Hardy keeps Sheamus against the ropes, but Sheamus charges up with a clothesline. Sheamus with a clothesline and more strikes against the ropes as the crowd boos. And the referee warns him. Hardy back drops Sheamus to the apron, but he hangs on. Hardy charges and drop kicks the knee out again. Sheamus goes down on the floor, and Hardy follows. Hardy runs and leaps off the steel steps, dropping Sheamus in front of the announcers. Hardy slams Sheamus face first into the announce table. Hardy takes the steps apart, but has second thoughts. Hardy comes back in, but Sheamus overpowers and rams him back into the corner. Sheamus unloads with stiff shots as the referee warns him. Sheamus lifts Hardy with a suplex, but rams him on the top of the ring post. Hardy hits his knee hard. Sheamus keeps control and drops a flying knee from the corner. Hardy kicks out of two. Sheamus yells at the crowd for being enablers. Sheamus puts a boot to Hardy's throat to keep him down. Sheamus with Irish curse backbreaker, and then another. Hardy still kicks out at 2. Sheamus keeps Hardy grounded with a headlock. Now, Hardy tries to make a comeback, but Sheamus levels him with a big jumping knee to the head for a 2 count. Sheamus yells out at the announcers, then goes back to keep Hardy down with a headlock. Sheamus with a rake to the eyes as the crowd rallies for Hardy. Hardy fights out and sends Sheamus into the corner. Hardy with a back suplex. Hardy mounts more offense and takes back control. The crowd cheers Hardy on. Sheamus blocks the twist of fate and rolls him up for a 2 count. More back and forth now. Hardy ducks a bro kick. Hardy with a sling blade. They trade their finishers and pin attempts for a few minutes. Sheamus applies a cloverleaf submission, but Hardy hangs in there. Sheamus talks trash after beating Hardy around some more. Sheamus unloads with the forearm to the chest on the apron. Hardy falls on the apron. Sheamus scoops Hardy on the shoulders, but he hangs on in the corner. Hardy sends Sheamus into the ring post and then drops him with a twist of fate. Hardy goes to the top and nails a swanton. They end up on the outside of the ring again. Jeff runs the top of the barrier and leaps off, but Sheamus knocks him out of the air with a bro kick. Right in front of the announce table, Sheamus brings him back into the ring, and pins him for the win. After the match, Sheamus stands tall with the good replays. Kayla Braxton backstage with The Miz and John Morrison. She reveals that if one of them pins the Universal Champion, Braun Strowman, that person becomes champion instead of co-champions. They are surprised, but act like it's okay. Otis and Mandy Rose appear, and Otis sees his cashing in if they win. We get a video package for the next match, which is your women's title match, Nia Jax versus Asuka. We go back to the ring, and out comes Nia Jax as Tom Phillips, Samoa Joe, and Myra Sexton on commentary. Raw Women's Champion, Asuka's out next. The bell rings, and Asuka mounts offense with strikes. Asuka gets on her back and goes for a sleeper, but Jax fights back. Asuka also goes for an armbar. Jax fights her off and headbutts her. Asuka blocks the shot and turns it around in the corner. More back and forth now. Asuka with an octopus submission in the middle of the ring. Jax throws Asuka off of her back. Jax with a big clothesline. They trade strikes. Asuka charges, but Jax knocks her out of the air with a clothesline. Jax then beats Asuka around the ring now, and Jax scoops Asuka and slams her in the middle of the ring. Jax covers, only gets a 2 count. The crowd rallies for Asuka now. Jax uses the middle rope on her as the referee counts. Jax taunts Asuka some, but Asuka gets up and fights back. Asuka charges, but Jax catches her with a spine buster for a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Jax keeps Asuka grounded with a cobra lock now. Asuka fights out with back elbows. Asuka with a guillotine submission out of nowhere. Jax resists. Jax powers out and into a jackhammer for another 2 count. Jax taunts Asuka, mentioning Kairi Sane. Asuka rocks her and fights. Asuka blocks a Samoan drop. Jax goes to drop down, but Asuka moves and she lands hard. Asuka with a Shining Wizard for a 2 count. Asuka with more offense and a hip attack for another pin attempt in the middle of the ring, and then another. Asuka avoids. Asuka unloads with kicks in the middle of the ring. Jax catches a kick and drops Asuka with a sit-down powerbomb for a 2 count. More back and forth in the corner and out to the floor now. Asuka catches Jax in an armbar on the floor, but the referee continues to count. Jax breaks it into the barrier. The referee is out at 8 now. Jax scoops Asuka at 9, but Asuka slides out and drops Jax with a big kick to the head. Referee counts them both out. Double count out. After the bell, the decision is announced. Asuka reacts by delivering a hip attack on the floor. Asuka takes her title and leaves with it as the music plays. Jax stares her down. MVP is backstage on the phone with someone calling for 30 bottles of champagne to celebrate tonight's WWE title change. He also needs security. Lana walks up and MVP hangs up the call. Lana is responsible for some of Lashley's success and wants to be at ringside with him. MVP don't make the decision. and isn't the one who she should be having the talk with. He says, but she won't because she doesn't want to hear him tell it. MVP excuses herself so he can go deal with the next WWE champion. Coleslaw leads us to a video package for tonight's WWE Universal title match. 2-on-1 handicap match for the Universal title, Miz and Morrison versus Braun Strowman. We go back to the ring, and out first comes the Miz and Morrison. Out next as they hit the ring together. Miz takes a mic and needs a little pump up before becoming champion. Morrison agrees and says maybe they should share their music video that is sweeping the nation. Well, they introduced their new music video for their Hey Hey Ho Ho single. But it gets interrupted by Braun Strowman, who is out for the handicap match. Miz starts things off with Strowman, but he immediately tags in Morrison. Miz comes from behind and decks Strowman with a cheap shot, allowing Morrison to strike. Braun fights back, but Morrison uses his feet to get away and then kicks up. Miz tags back in, but goes to the floor to taunt Strowman. Morrison distracts Braun, and Miz comes from behind. Braun fights him off, but they double drop kick him. Morrison is the legal man now. He nails Strowman from the apron and then springboards in, but Braun catches him. Morrison fights back, but Braun drops him with a big punch. Miz comes back in and unloads with an axe handle. Then a kick, but Strowman swats it away. Strowman keeps dealing with the mind games. He knocks Miz to the floor, but Morrison tags in and kicks him in the face while he's on the floor. Miz tags back in and sends Braun back to the barrier from the ring. Morrison tags in and flies with a corkscrew, sending Braun back into the barrier. Miz and Morrison regroup on the floor, and Miz brings it back in control. Miz drops Braun with a kick, then grounds him with a headlock instead of going for the pin. Strowman smashes Miz in the corner, but Morrison tags in and unloads on Strowman to bring him back down. Morrison hits Braun with elbows and several kicks while he's down. Miz tags back in, and they drop Braun with a double DDT in the middle of the ring. Miz covers, but Braun kicks out at 1. Miz delivers the hit kicks to the chest while Braun is on his knees. Miz shows off some and goes for the roundhouse kick, but Braun delivers a huge right hand, then a big elbow and a boot. Braun rocks Morrison off the apron and launches Miz across the ring. Braun charges in the corner, but Morrison tags in and shoves Miz out of the way, so Braun hits the ring post. Morrison with more offense on Braun and a big kick from the middle rope. Morrison with a running knee. Miz tags back in, goes up top, double axe handle. Miz and Morrison with more offense. Miz with a skull crusher finale, and Morrison with a shot to the back of the head. Morrison covers for a 2 count, but Miz pulls him off because he didn't want Morrison to be champion. Miz realizes he made his mistake, perhaps. Morrison goes for another pin, but Braun kicks out, and that sends him to the floor. Braun goes on and delivers a big choke slam to Miz. Morrison springboards in, but Braun knocks him out of the air. Braun with a running power slam to Morrison for the pin and the win to retain the title. After the match, music hits, and Braun gets up and raises the title. Miz and Morrison are down on their backs at ringside. Someone yells out at him, and last as we go to replays, Braun marches to the back and stops on the stage to raise the title and yell out. Miz and Morrison are still down in front of the announce table. Coleslaw shows us how AJ Styles won tournament finals over Daniel Bryan during Friday's SmackDown on Fox to win the vacant WWE Intercontinental title. Kayla Braxton backstage with AJ now. He's holding a victory celebration on this coming SmackDown, and he wants Bryan to be there. He goes on about Bryan living in a fantasy world and says he is good, but this just not phenomenal as AJ walks off. A video package for the next match. WWE title match. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. Back to the ring. Out first comes Lashley first with MVP. Lashley is ready to fight. Drew McIntyre, your champion, is out next. MVP distracts Drew before the belt, and Lashley suddenly attacks, manhandling him with a full Nelson. Referees finally come in the ring to separate them as the match has not been started. After Lashley takes Drew down to the mat, still in the hold, Drew tells the referee he's ready to go, but he's hurting. The bell rings and Lashley goes right to work on him. Drew was still wearing his ring jacket as Lashley beats him around. Lashley with a big suplex for a quick pin attempt, and then another for one count. We see Lana watching backstage on the big screen. Lashley keeps control until Drew connects with a big knee to the gut. Drew with chops, but Lashley levels him with ease. Lashley with another quick pin attempt, and another out of frustration. Lashley keeps Drew down by his arm now, working on it. Lashley finally yanks Drew's jacket off and drives knees into the back before grounding him again to booze. Drew then manages a Northern Light suplex out of nowhere, but Lashley kicks out. Lashley with another suplex for a 2 count. MVP barks from ringside as Lashley works Drew over in the corner, talking trash as MVP does. The crowd rallies as Drew slides out of a move, then up on the floor as the referee counts. Drew mounts offense on the outside. MVP gets too close, and Drew gets in his face, backing him off. Drew goes back to work, but Lashley drops him on his head. Lashley talks some trash and scoops Drew, then runs him into the ring post. Drew hits hard and goes right back down as the referee continues. Drew breaks the count, but rolls back to the floor to regroup as the referee backs Lashley off. Lashley runs at Drew on the outside, but Drew sidesteps and sends him into the barrier. MVP then looks on as Drew powers up with a big suplex on the floor. Drew brings him back in, but Lashley strikes. Drew blocks a shot and takes another shot to the head. They trade big strikes in the middle of the ring. Now, as Drew comes out of the corner with a big clothesline and a big boot. Drew goes up top and nails a big right hand. They're both down on the mat now. Drew gets up first to a pop from the crowd. Drew scoots Lashley on his shoulders, but he slides out and comes back with Drew hitting his big spine buster. Lashley kicks out at 2. Lashley counters, but Drew rocks him. Drew comes right back, but Lashley catches him with one arm, spine buster in the middle of the ring for another quick 1 count. Lashley and MVP are frustrated. Lashley sends Drew shoulder first in the corner and then catches him with a flatliner. Drew still kicks out at 2. MVP can't believe it. MVP calls for the full Nelson maneuver. Lashley stalks the champ as he slowly gets up. Lashley goes for the full Nelson, but Drew resists. They go to the corner, and Lashley is briefly on Drew's shoulders, but that turns into a Drew hitting a reverse Alabama slam in the middle of the ring. Drew then with a close 2 count, more back and forth. Drew goes up top, but Lashley catches him with an arm bar, then goes into the crossface. Drew powers up for a tombstone, but Lashley blocks it and applies ankle lock in the middle of the ring now. Drew breaks it and kicks Lashley in the corner. Lashley tries for the spear, but Drew takes him down into a Camaro lock. Lashley grabs the bottom rope to break the hold. Drew takes him back to the corner. Drew pounds on Lashley up top in the corner now. Drew goes for the superplex and nails it. Lashley nails a big spear, but Drew kicks out at 2. MVP can't believe it. Lashley is also frustrated. Lana comes walking down the ramp now. MVP says something to her. She gets on the apron and she yells at the referee. Drew shoves Lashley and he almost goes into Lana, but he puts the brakes on. Drew nails a Glasgow kiss headbutt, sending Lashley into the ropes, which sends Lana off the apron onto MVP. They both go down. Drew comes back and drops Lashley with a claymore. Drew covers for the pin to retain. After the belt, Drew is face down on the mat, but he gets up after the WWE title is handed to him. MVP is frustrated. Lashley is down. Lana stares her down. Lashley walks over and stands with MVP, then follows him to the back after looking down at his wife. Lana starts to get emotional while still on the ground. Drew poses in the corner with the title in the air. We go to replays. While Drew's music plays, Drew talks into the camera again about how Lashley brought this baggage he continues to celebrate. Announcers are interrupted as the camera cuts outside to the Viking Raiders and Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, brawling. They damage the car of WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman, Eric, Ivar, and Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins all stop in fear as they retreat inside. Brawl continues backstage. Ford and Dawkins pull out golf clubs. They get ready to fight, but they turn around to Eric and Ivar. The Shields are their axis. They stop and agree on fighting like men. In the middle first, they continue fighting through the backstage as intense music plays. Dawkins and Eric fight off to another area. Ivar picks up a bowling ball and has okay. Lost my spot. I'll just go to the next segment. Ball continues backstage. Ford and Dawkins pull out on taking golf clubs. I already said that. They turn around to Eric and Ivar with the Shields and their axes. They stop and agree on fighting like men in the ring. They all put their weapons down, and the Street Profits strike first. They continue fighting through backstage as intense music plays. Dawkins and Eric fight off to another area. Ivar picks up a bowling ball and has flashbacks to the recent bowling competition on Raw. He then bowls the ball to Ford right between his legs. He actually catches it right as it striking his inner thigh. Ford sells it, and Ivar walks off, apologizing. Ivar then finds Eric down outside. Dawkins runs and tackles him through a glass door. They land on the debris. Ivar has a flashback to eating turkey legs. Anything you can do? Ivar says, we can do better. Dawkins adds. Eric and Ford come over and they comment on how quickly everything has escalated. They leap over to the parking lot to continue the fight, but there comes a group of people on motorcycles. Ninjas. One man steps off and approaches, takes off his helmet, and it's none other than Akira Tozawa, the leader of the group. Anything you can do, we can do better, Tozawa tells the two teams. He tosses his helmet at Ivar. He throws it away. He points at the Vikings, get in a huddle, and it's time to do this together, taking out all the ninjas on motorcycles. It's like 5 of them versus the 4 of them. They stand together as the Viking Profits are now called, turkey legs and red cups in hand. And they want the smoke. Tozawa calls for his ninjas, and they stand next to him. They take turns attacking the Profits and the Vikings, but get taken out. There's the most comedy takedowns. Tozawa calls for his backup, and it's a very large man, about 7'3", taller than Big Show. So large that both of the tag teams are stunned. The large man goes to take out his sword, but Ivar takes a bite from a turkey leg, which he summons from the bush it was earlier knocked into. But even that's not enough, as Ivar is too shocked to attack. Ivar wants to attack, but Dawkins holds him back. The two teams climb to the top of an 18-wheeler. No, it's not an 18-wheeler because this is super long. Real super long. Straight, like about 100 to 200 foot long. Ivar is out of breath and can't keep up with the other 3. He finally catches up, and Ford stands with Ivar and says they're supposed to be together. Ivar shoves him off, and he also lands in the dumpster below with Dawkins and Eric. Ivar leaves and lands in the trash with them as well. As they're taking a rest, Ivar has a flashback to the other challenges from the recent weeks, with women telling Ivar he's cute, but not Eric. Female referee appears on a ladder, climbed up next to the dumpster. She asks the two teams what they're doing because their match is next. She also thinks Ivar is cute, but not Eric. There's something alive under the trash bags now, growling. All four of the superstars start scrambling to get out of the dumpster. We see some sort of dragon tail coming out. Looks more like an octopus leg coming from under the trash bags. Maybe Loch Ness. Bizarre and lengthy segment abruptly ends and goes to a break. We go back to Tom, Byron, and Joe back in the arena. Tom confirms that there will be no Raw Tag Team Titles match tonight due to what just happened. Announcers introduce the next match, and Byron says that they will enhance the viewing experience for the fans with this one, using unique camera angles and more. Tom welcomes us to what they believe will be the greatest wrestling match ever, and we cut to a video package. Edge versus Orton. And this is your main event, by the way. We go to ring for tonight's main event. Now first comes Randy Orton. Hall of Famer Edge was out next. Lights go out, and the spotlights hit. An MSG graphic appears over the ring under a spotlight. We hear the voice of the late WWE Hall of Famer Howard Finkel. He introduces Orton first, and then Edge. The lights are back on. Now, the referee brings Orton and Edge to the middle of the ring and goes over the rules. The crowd seems much louder for this one. The bell rings, and here we go. They lock up, and we get a unique camera angle to show underneath them. Orton strikes first. They break and lock back up. They break and lock back up again, with Edge taking Orton down with a headlock. Orton rolls him back for a quick pin attempt. Edge keeps control with the headlock as the camera shows him from overhead. Orton turns into a scissors around Edge's neck now. Edge gets free, but Orton dodges the follow-up clothesline. They lock back up, and Edge takes control. They run the ropes a few times, and Orton trips Edge, sending him flying to the floor. They lock up again and go to the corner. Edge goes to the floor, and Orton follows, but Edge drops him with a big boot to the face. Edge brings him back into the ring for a 2 count. They run the rope some more, and Edge arm drags Orton and keeps him grounded. More back and forth now. They take it back to the corner, and Orton stomps on the foot for a booze. Edge counters with a head scissors, sending Orton face first through the ropes and out to the floor. Orton looks to hit a superplex from the top to the floor, but Edge sends him to the apron with headbutts. Orton approaches, but Edge drops him on the apron again. Edge leaps from the top and knocks Orton off to the floor. He also lands hard. Orton is busted open. He's bleeding from his head now, around his eye, almost like in a circle. Edge drives Orton into the edge of the ring again. Edge follows back and works Orton around the ring. Edge with knees to the gut. Edge with a side rush to the leg sweep. Edge goes right into the crossface as Orton looks for a way out. Orton gets to his feet on the bottom rope and breaks free. Orton comes with an RKO out of nowhere, but Edge blocks it. Edge goes for an anti-venom submission. Edge keeps fighting, but Orton drops him with a neck breaker, back breaker combo. Orton stalks Edge on the outside now. Orton sends Edge back into the plexiglass barrier, and he goes down. Orton sends Edge into the barrier, the apron, back into the barrier again. Orton keeps beating Edge around the ringside area and stops to break the count, as the referee warns him to bring him back in the ring. Orton sends Edge into the steel steps as the count continues. Orton slams Edge's head back into the steps again, then breaks the count again. Edge puts face first in the announce table and back down. And we see Edge whispering something into. We see Orton whispering something into Edge, taunting him before hitting him again and bringing him back into the ring. Edge kicks out at 2 and Orton shows some frustration now. Orton starts stomping away on Edge while he's down. Orton stomps again on the right hand and in the face. Orton keeps Edge grounded in the middle of the ring now. Edge stomps on Orton's foot now to get free. Edge keeps fighting, but Orton sends him neck first into top turnbuckles, and Edge goes down. Orton looks up and smirks. He then begins the Three Amigos, indicating that he looked up for the WWE Hall of Famer Eddie Guerrero. Edge blocks the final suplex and delivers three of his own, hitting the third. They're both down now, trading shots from the mat while down and struggling to get up. They trade shots from their knees, Flair style. They get on their feet. Edge takes it to the corner and unloads. Orton goes away and ducks the chop block. Orton drop kicks Edge, sending him to the floor to retreat. Orton also slides out for a breather. Orton grabs Edge at the ring post and pulls him hard into the steel. Edge goes back down at ringside. They end up on the top again. Orton goes for a superplex, but Edge resists it. Orton nails a pedigree. Orton nails a superplex, and Edge is dazed. Orton smirks and slowly rolls over for the 2 count. Edge nods his head. Orton uppercuts Edge against the ropes. Edge powers up and runs the ropes. He ducks a clothesline, but they both collide in the middle of the ring. Both are down. More back and forth. Edge finally mounts him offense and hits a low elbow to the heart while Orton is sitting up. Edge with a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Edge goes on and hits a big crossbody for another close 2 count as the crowd pops. They both slowly get up. Edge charges in the corner, but Orton rolls him up. They tangle on the mat, and Edge applies crossface submission. Orton gets free and ends up hitting an Olympic slam for another 2 count. Orton can't believe it. They run the ropes, and Edge catches Orton in a powerbomb, but Orton kicks out too. The crowd does dueling chants for both guys. Edge charges, but Orton backdrops him over the top rope to the floor. Edge comes back in, but Orton meets him at the ropes and drops him with a second rope draping DDT. Orton is slow to get up, as is Edge. Orton starts to stalk Edge. Edge blocks the RKO. Orton hops over Edge and goes for the RKO again, but it's blocked. Edge with it. Edge and Matty for a close 2 count. Edge is shocked. He backs in the corner and gets hyped up now. Big eyes and all. Edge pulls himself up and waits for Orton to get to his feet as the crowd cheers them both on. Orton gets up and Edge charges. Orton hops over him. Edge avoids the power slam. Edge drops Orton with an unprettier for another 2 count. Crowd chants this is awesome now as they both struggle to get back up. Edge gets up first and clubs Orton. Orton catches the Edge and drops him over the top rope. They slowly get back up, and Orton is first, but Edge strikes. Orton grabs the Edge in the middle of the ring and smiles as he delivers a pedigree. Edge still kicks out at 2, and Orton is frustrated. Orton waits for Edge to get back up. Edge counters a clothesline and delivers a rock bottom for a big pop. Orton still kicks out at 2. More this is awesome chance for the crowd. Edge slowly crawls over and goes for the sharpshooter, but Orton breaks it up and kicks him down. Orton misses the clothesline, and Edge goes for a backside now. Orton resists. Edge takes the knees out for a 2 count. Orton comes right back with a big uppercut. Orton goes for another big draping DDT, but Edge sends the top rope into him to stun him. Edge rolls up Orton for a 2 count. Edge comes back in with another roll up, and then another. Orton immediately comes right back with an RKO, but Edge kicks out just in time. Orton is shocked. Orton has words with the referee, while Edge recovers from being face down. Orton stares down at Edge and backs into the corner to get ready. Edge is down across the ring, slowly getting up. Orton goes to charge, but Edge cuts him off with a big spear. Edge pulls himself back up and delivers another, more aggressive spear. Orton still kicks out at 2. Edge is confused. Edge takes Orton to the corner and comes off the middle turnbuckle, but Orton catches him in midair with a huge RKO out of nowhere. Edge still kicks out at 2. Orton still can't believe it. Orton has words with the referee. Are you sure you got the 3 count? Or 2 count? 2? Orton grabs Edge's head and says some stuff to him and lifts him back up from the mat. Edge suddenly grabs Orton for his new standing submission. Orton looks to hit a low blow, but the referee didn't see it. Orton comes right back with a punt kick for the pin and the win. After the match, Orton is slow to get up while Edge is flat on his back, knocked out. In the middle of the ring, Orton crawls over, still down to the mat. Has more words for Edge in his face. Orton is saying something to Edge about going home to be with his family and tell them Uncle Randy said hi. Orton gets back to his feet and has his arm raised while the music plays. We go to replays. Orton hits a corner to post as referees enter the ring to check on Edge. Orton watches from the ramp as Edge apparently refuses help from the referees. Edge looked disappointed and defeated as Orton smirked back at him from the ramp. 2020 Backlash pay-per-view was off the air at that point. And that concludes my results for Backlash pay-per-view. Thanks and peace out. See you on video. If you don't know, brothers and sisters, just call me. Thanks and peace out.